Cloud.
Skodma od et duok dynadnoyed. Amdocs to the cloud and beyond.
So folks, please use the Q&A tab on your Zoom control panel if you have any questions for our leaders, talent acquisition team, or the hiring managers. I would like to thank each one of you for joining us for this virtual job fair for Smart Ops Cloud. The objective of this virtual job fair is to showcase Smart Ops open positions in cloud and also to provide you a platform to interact with the hiring managers, TA team, and get your queries answered. Now, I'll hand over this session to my colleague Neha.
Thank you so much, Taruna. Before we begin, let me run you through today's agenda. We will meet with the business leaders and get an overview of the Smart Ops unit and how to be a part of this journey. We have with us our Journal Manager, Mr. Samit Banerjee, who will deliver the keynote address, followed by Mr. Ranit Mathur. He will share details and insights about the key positions we are looking to hire upon. Then we will be opening the positions followed by question and answers, and finally, positions QR code for you to apply. Please feel free to take the screenshots. All right. So without further ado, we will start the session. To begin with, we have our keynote speaker, Mr. Samit Banerjee, who is the Journal Manager for the Smart Ops. Samit is Division President of the Amdoc's Cloud Managed Service Unit. He is responsible for the operations and cloud strategy execution. He is also responsible for the delivery of the company's digital transformation. This includes delivery of all cloud-related services for Amdoc's customers globally. Samit concentrates on reskilling employees worldwide on cloud and digital-centric technologies. So Samit, over to you.
All right, thank you, Neha. Hi, everyone. Welcome to this call. I would first like to thank you for joining the call today. I know that everybody is busy, everybody has a lot of things to do in life, but still the fact that you have taken an hour off and joining this session, thank you for that. I hope it is going to be good for all of you, and it will help you to take some career decisions going forward. Neha, if we can move to the next slide.
Sure. A new slide, please.
Yeah. Okay, so before we go forward, all of you on the call, for the participants, I just want to give you a quick view of what is Amdocs. So Amdocs is a global leader in the business that we are in. We are a solution provider for the communication service providers around the world and the video service providers. If you look below on the graph that you can see with the map, you will see several names, dozens of names of all kinds of service providers that are there around the world, providing all the telecommunication services, internet services, cable services, all of them. And we are happy to say that mostly across all the countries, most of the companies that you can see over here are our customers. So Amdocs is a $4.2 billion revenue customer, the company, and servicing the customers across the world, which is at least 350 of them in the service provider area, and more than 500 of them in the video service provider area. If you think about how many people we are touching as a company, okay, what are we doing? What we're touching right now? So today, just today itself, you will know that 3 billion people around the globe, around the world, are being touched by Amdocs. All our products, our solutions, the way we run our services, we are touching at least 3 billion people. Now, all of you are in India, so you would probably like to understand that how exactly 3 billion people are getting touched. So in India, you know about two operators, Airtel and Vodafone Idea. Both of them are our customers. So you know that millions of subscribers, millions of customers are a part of these two service providers in the country, Airtel and Vodafone. Both are our customers, and Amdocs is servicing both of them with our solutions, our services, and so on. So like that, we have it across the world. Okay, worldwide, you can see all the different logos below. They are all a part of our customer base. We have 26,000 employees worldwide, and we are present across 85 countries. So that tells you the big size of the company in terms of the work that we do. If we go to the next slide. So here you see the main hubs, the main sites, the large sites from where Amdocs is operating. We are operating, of course, primarily from India, and I will talk about India in a few minutes. But you can see that we are also present in a big way with lots of employees in each one of those spots, like in Philippines, in Australia, in Cyprus, Israel, England, Netherlands, US, Chile, Brazil, and so on. Now, it's all about our presence across the 85 countries where we are operating, but these are the ones where we are present in a large way. By the way, I'm pretty confident that all of you who are in the call and many of you who will be joining us in Amdocs, some of you will end up in these sites one day, okay? Because if you look at Amdocs US or Amdocs UK, Amdocs Netherlands, Amdocs Brazil, Australia, we have people who are Indians who have been in India, worked in Amdocs India, moved over as part of the opportunities, and they are settled down over there. So I'm pretty confident some of you who are in this call, some years down the line, you will be sitting in one of these sites, okay? So this is our presence, and it's a worldwide presence that you can see. As far as our organization, the organization that I am privileged to lead, that organization is running a lot of operations across all these different sites that you saw. Talking about Amdocs India now. So you remember we talked about Amdocs overall. We have 26,000 employees servicing all these customers worldwide. In India, we have 13,000 employees. So you can see almost like 50% of Amdocs is present in India, outside of all the other sites that you saw. Roughly, we have broken up about 10,000 people, 10,700 people in Pune, and Gurgaon is about 2,000 people with small presence in Mumbai also. We have a separate BPO unit as well, but that's very small, only for one customer that we have, which is AT&T. And then there are other small sites across Chennai, Bangalore, Noida, and Hyderabad, where we have about 260 odd people. Okay, we have a good mix in terms of men and women in our organization, so it's 70-30. But I can tell you, as a leader of the company, we would like to create a larger base of women in our company. So all the women in this call, I invite you to come and join us. We will find a workforce which is very vibrant. You will find lots of millennials who are working in this company, and that should give you a right place to be happy in terms of the working environment and the type of work that you do. If you go to the next slide, I want to now zoom in on what kind of work do we do? Okay, where are the kind of work that happens? Now, all of you are technologists. You are working in multiple technologies. I'm pretty sure that the technologies that you are accustomed to, you will find it over here in this slide. So if you're talking about DevOps, which is in the top section that you can see, we are working across the multiple technologies that you can read out over there, be it from Jenkins or Git or Docker, Maven, and so on. If you are familiar with data services, we are working across the board, whether it is the Oracle of the previous years or Cassandra or Hadoop of the new years. Everything you will find over there in the data services that Amdocs is working on. Similarly, on digitization, you will find we are working on Python, Angular, Drupal, and so on. Automation is on TensorFlow, IBM Watson, and so on. Enterprise integration services, we work on the Oracle bus with TIBCO, with MuleSoft. And similarly, on legacy services, we are working on mainframe, COBOL, DB2, C++, Java, and so on. But today, we are speaking a little bit more about the cloud, something which is in the air. And you are always hearing about cloud, right? So cloud, when you talk about it, we are working on all the three major areas of cloud, which is with respect to Amazon, and then on Microsoft Azure, and on Google Cloud. Now, I want to let you know what exactly is the cloud work that we are doing now, okay, as Amdocs, because you might have a question that, okay, you're talking about cloud, but what kind of projects do you work on? And what's the kind of work that you're doing in cloud so that I can come over and join over here? Now, there's a lot of work happening there. let me just share with you a case study, just one case study over here, and more details can be shared later on by Ranit. But in this case study, I want to talk about a company called AT&T. If you have not heard about AT&T, please do Google AT&T, and then you will find out how big is this company. This is world's one of the largest, if not the largest, one of the largest companies of telecommunication service providers. This company decided that all the data that they are holding and all the applications that they are hosting in their data centers, okay, centers which belongs to them, they will take that and migrate it to the cloud. Okay, so everything will be moved to the cloud. So the CEO of AT&T and the CEO of Azure, which is Microsoft Azure, they shook hands to decide that how they are going to do this journey of moving all the applications to the cloud. Microsoft is the prime solution integrator. We are working with Microsoft along with these other vendors to carry out the journey. And what is the journey? The journey is that they have 7,500 applications, 7,500 applications, which has to be moved to the cloud. So that's what they are looking at. Right now, they are looking at 4,500 applications that are already designated. At some point of time, they will look for the remaining 3,000 that can get designated as well. But primarily in the upcoming 4 years, in 4 years, they will move 4,500 of these 7,500 applications that they have, and all of them will be working in Microsoft Azure cloud. Amdoc is one of the prime vendors, one of the prime providers of this service to take this from their on-premise data centers to the cloud. And by the way, we also have 1,000 plus Amdoc applications as well, which needs to be migrated as part of this activity. So as you can see, there's a huge amount of work that we're doing, lots of projects in front of us, huge, massive program in front of us. And when you see cloud, normally it rains, right, from the cloud. So there are droplets of rain, water. In this case, in cloud, it is raining jobs. It is raining positions. So we are hiring in hundreds. And if anybody is interested in working in the cloud, and not only from a lift and shift point of view, but full-fledged cloud journey that you want to execute, here is the place to go. So in the coming sections, you will hear more from Ranit and others about what you can do and what kind of work is happening. But if you're interested in cloud, Amdoc is the place to be. Thank you. Ranit.
Thank you so much, Samit, for sharing your valuable insights with us. Now, I would like to introduce our next speaker, Mr. Ranit Mathur. Ranit started his career as a DBA and is now working as a technologies line manager. In his current role, he is assisting Amdoc customers on their cloud journey. Ranit has been with Amdoc for last 14 years. He repatriated from US to India in 2011. Over to you, Ranit.
Thank you. Thank you, Samit, for the great introduction, a great segue into what I'm going to talk about. And thank you, everyone, for joining. So I'm going to give a brief overview about the unit that I represent, which Samit heads. And I am seeing all the questions that are coming in. So I'm going to pace myself so we can have a lot of time to answer the questions. In Amdocs, we have the unit that we are working in, which is doing this massive migration from on-premises to Azure cloud. We are called Smart Ops. We're primarily doing managed services for most of the customers that Samit had referenced earlier. There's a vibrant workforce that we have. Most of the work we focus on getting it as much automations as possible. 30% of the tickets that we get are automated, it's zero touch, and there is huge amount development work that's going on, about 2 million hours worth of work. There are 2,000 flows which are fully automated, and I'm talking about the telco core billing areas that we have. The bills that we generate, it's like 10 million bills that get generated on daily basis each day. So This is about the organization where you will fit in if you choose to join us, which is, again, as Samit earlier referenced, a strong telco, a strong billing, a foundation that we have. Our business models are end to end. We have full accountability models that we work with all our customers. We're doing the managed services support. We're doing their developments. We are doing their migration, and hence the cloud migration that I'm going to talk about. So can we go to the next slide? Actually, Samit did cover this slide, so I'm going to stay on it for just 30 odd seconds. Just so you know, we have Pune and Gurgaon, both centers available for hiring. And, you know, as you can see from the middle section, the middle graph that I want to emphasize, we have a lot of young population with us. We have new joiners, and there are people like me, you know, in the 18% of 10 plus years of experience. So I'm going to go directly into the details of the project. So the project for which we are hiring, it's a massive program that Samit touched upon, and I'm going to specifically talk about which technologies we are looking for people. So as you can believe, if you're moving data centers on Azure, any organization which currently exists will have some Windows, some Linux, a lot of AIX, Solaris. That's just the OS. The middleware technologies are even bigger. You know, WebLogic, Wildfly, WebSphere. The programming languages are diverse now. I've just listed Java and .NET there. Similarly, the database, and this is the interesting aspect, because in Azure, we do not have a PaaS offering for Oracle, but still we're trying to migrate Oracle onto Azure. Similarly, MySQL, SQL Server, Azure SQL. So these are the technologies that we are trying to move from on-premises to Azure. I'm also going to talk about using which technologies we are going to move in the subsequent slide, for which the skill set that we need. So here our methodology is pretty straightforward. You know, we look at the applications, if you know, how they are built on premises. Most of them are not cloud native because they were built years back. There are a set of principles laid upon by our customer, specifically about data security and data protection, and the standardization across the applications that we are trying to move, so that when we hand it over back to our operations team, they have one-click solutions for spinning up new environment, doing their deployments, doing OS patching, anything and everything they would like to do. And the way we are working is in a factory mode of operations, meaning X number of applications come in, the factory works in a cookie cutter approach, provides the solutioning, that part of the code is executed, and the application is created onto Azure. Vikram, can we move to the next slide? So the key players here are obviously Azure, Amdocs, and our customers. So now I'm going to talk about the skill set for which we're trying to do the hiring. So as you can believe, in this transformation, we are going to need architects. These are the people who are our experts in Azure, who will be responsible for understanding how that application currently works on premises. So this individual will need to know the on-premises topology, and then try to build a similar target architecture on Azure. This person is responsible for basically right from as simple as the NSG rules to how many VNets it's going to be, how many VMs it's going to be, if it's going to be a PaaS solution or EAS solution. This is the position which is defining how an application is going to reside. Now, once this architect has created a design, that's where our cloud engineers and data engineers come in, who will be responsible now to build a fully automated CD pipeline using skills like Terraform, Ansible, Packers, and Python, anything that you can use to automate. Similarly, our data engineers are responsible for, if let's say the solution is on SQL Server or MySQL to have a pass offering, or even if it's on Oracle to get the and new VM spun with Oracle installed there. Finally, we need to have our dev desktop engineers who are going to assist us in testing all this. Now, this is a big team, and we now need to have some person who needs to orchestrate the work for all this. So we're working in an agile mode, and we're going to need a Scrum Master as well. This person is responsible for the planning, making sure all deliverables reach on time, making sure all the user stories are handled as per the scheduled. If there are any risks, they are raised and handled in the time. So if I have to recap, we're looking for people who are experts in Azure, who are experts in Terraform, Packer, Ansible, uh, Python. If it's Windows, then PowerShell, and all those descriptions will be available on the site as well, where you can get into the details. For data engineers, we're looking for people with Oracle, SQL Server, MySQL are also a few of the technologies that we're looking for. I'm seeing a lot of questions popping in. I'm trying to frame what I'm explaining based on the questions that are coming in. Let's say you have experience as an architect on AWS. Let's take an example. Of course, we need people who know Azure. It's going to help you pick things up faster. Our primary goal is to have people who know Azure, but if you're familiar with AWS, we would still encourage you to apply. Let's see, what are the gaps and how quickly those can be filled. Similarly, when we're looking for cloud engineers, you need to remember what you're creating. You're creating infrastructure as code. So both the infrastructure and the code, both of them are equally important aspects of this migration. So you need to understand what a VM is, how WebLogic is installed, how WebSphere is handled, how Wildfly is handled, how the queuing is done, and then using the Terraform, how you can automate it as part of the code. So again, there are many positions that we have. We have a Scrum Master who's orchestrating everything. We have cloud architects who are doing a design on on cloud, looking at what's available on premises, trying to give the best possible solution to our customers, meaning fine tuning, right from fine tuning of the CPU memory all the way to seeing if it can be a PaaS offering rather than an AI solution. The cloud engineers are coding the infrastructure as code, so they need to understand the infrastructure, of course, and then deploy the infrastructure as code. The data engineers, they need to know the databases. If you know Oracle 19c, 12c, yes, it would make sense for you to be part of this program. People who have worked on Oracle may not have Azure experience because these are, diverse technologies. People who have worked on SQL, Postgre, they may have experience on Azure as well, which would be a good skill set match in that sense. But we need people who have the right aptitude, who have the right approach towards learning new things. If again, I'm going to take example of a DBAs, there are a few questions coming up. Yes, we have Cassandra as well that we need to migrate. So let's say you are a plain vanilla Oracle 19c expert DBA and willing to learn Terraform. Yeah, we would love to have you. So with that, I think I've covered most of the technologies. Yes, the certifications that you're mentioning on the chat, AZ900 is the starting point, 103, 303, there are many certifications there. If you go into the Microsoft site, All those are valuable. And finally, coming to the slide, what's in for you? So first, I spoke about all the technologies that we're looking for, but this slide basically represent what's actually in for you. It's a pretty apt name for the slide. So first of all, we are very big on upskilling. When we started this program, we took our own people, we got them certified, we gave them hands-on training, and we got our own team cloud ready. We got the applications cloud ready, but we also got our own workforce cloud ready. We are huge on innovations. You must have seen constant webinars from our panel here. We are big on automations and constantly figuring out new ways to improve the productivity. There is a career growth in the organization. I'm a perfect example. I started as a DBA, and right now I'm at a director level position. There is huge growth as you grow with the company. You're learning new things. You're constantly discovering new accounts. You're constantly discovering new technologies. I started as a DBA on the mainframes, and today we are migrating applications on Azure. It cannot be more different to each other. So once, let's say, you end up as a sysadmin, as a cloud admin, your growth path would be the specialist and architect. As the program grows, you grow along with the company. Sumit had touched a little bit earlier on the travel opportunities as well. As you, if you would have remembered, Amdocs is all across the globe, and there are many short and long-term opportunities, especially when there's a big deployment going on or there's a big release going on. It's very common to have those in place. Vikram. All right, so this is basically a summarization. I'll start from the bottom again. Pune, Gurgaon, both locations are available. We are looking for technology savvy, innovative people, high aptitude, positive attitude as always. The expertise, like I mentioned, cloud development. This is a very big program. We're looking for people with all kinds of skills. Yes, we will share how to apply in the next slide. You need to know the functional and non-functional part of the applications. You of course need to know Azure. That's the key here. And on the technology side, everything is in the CI and the CD. So of course, DevOps is there. Azure needs to be there. Terraform, where you're coding the infrastructure as code. Packers for creation of image. PowerShell if it's a Windows workload. Oracle and few other databases as well, which we are looking for. So that's the 1, 2, 3 of the slide. Vikram, over to you.
Thank you so much, Ranit. Just a reminder, friends, please use the Q&A tab on your Zoom control panel if you have any questions for our leaders, talent acquisition team, or our hiring managers. So now we would move to the another set of questions. And I would invite Mr. Vikram Joglekar, who is the Regional Manager, Talent Acquisition Team, who will walk us through the open positions and how the procedure to apply. Vikram, over to you.
So do you have Vikram? Vikram, we can't hear you if you're on the call.
I can cover this if.
Yeah.
All right. So.
Yeah, go ahead, run it. Yeah.
All right. So as we earlier spoke about, I think this is a good segue from the previous slide.
I was on mute. Apologies, Anand, I was on mute. Sorry.
Okay. No, back to you.
I'll jump back in. Sorry. To the participants, I'm hoping you had a good session so far. You've got a better understanding about what Amdocs is doing, what are the technologies we are working on, and the profiles that we are looking to hire and why we're trying to hire. So at this stage, this is a composite slide. So essentially, this will remain up for a while. The QR code here will give you a link directly to the positions that you can look at and start applying. On the right side, we've got the requisition IDs and the jobs that are posted. And this session will also be tapered into the questions. So at this stage, I will invite Ranit if he can walk us through the positions one by one. As also, please reserve your questions, please ask your questions. We will be picking up questions specifically at the end of the session. So Ranit, over to you again.
All right. As I was earlier referring to, we are migrating applications from on-premises to Azure. So for that, we need our DevOps specialist who would primarily be working on building the CD pipeline, which is on Azure DevOps, of course, and you'll need to know Terraform, Packers, Ansible, Python for the automation. The DB admin, it's a little diverse because there are different type of technologies. So Oracle DBAs who, even if they do not have Azure experience, that's fine. SQL Server, MySQL, we have some Cassandra, Postgre, we would like to get those, we have those skills needed. The system admins are the cloud admins who would be primarily responsible for getting the infrastructure set up on Azure, making sure the pipeline is executed, making sure the binaries of the applications that we're trying to migrate from the CI are integrated into the CD, and the deployments take place. The team lead is the Scrum Master, who's going to orchestrate this entire team's work. Like I said, we'll be working on in an agile mode. The solution architects are the ones who will be designing how the app is going to reside in Azure, right from the VM sizing all the way to EAS versus PaaS. These are the people who are actually doing the designing and will be mentors to our DevOps specialists and system admins as needed. And we also have some openings for tech writers. There's a lot of documentation that is expected because it's a huge program. So for every application that's being migrated, we're developing a very detailed design document for which we're using our tech writers, so they can apply as well.
Thank you, Ranit. So at this stage, Neha, it's back to you. Please start picking up the questions and see if you can present questions to Ranit, Samit, and Sham to see if we can get some answers.
Thank you so much,
Neha.
Vikram. That was indeed enlightening, and I'm sure the participants have great takeaway from this session. We will go ahead with some questions now. There is one question, is the certification very much required to apply onto any positions we have?
Short answer, no. Long answer, certifications always help. It not only proves that you have a commitment to yourself, because that certification is your own investment in yourself, where you decided that I'm going to upskill myself. So it shows the person how serious they are about learning a new technology. But in our job description, certifications are good to have. They're not mandatory.
Okay, we have another question also. Is there AWS Ansible a requirement, or any Azure work experience is also good to go for any positions to apply on?
Azure, we're looking for Azure. The migration is on Azure, not on AWS. So right now we're looking for Azure people with the Ansible, Terraform, and other skill set.
Okay. I have one more question coming from some of the candidates. They are 2021 graduates, okay, and they don't possess any sort of experience into cloud. So is there any chances for them to apply?
So Ranit, if I can take that question.
Yeah.
So
hi,
hi. It may not be right now because on the screen what you see is about cloud, which Ranit mentioned, Vikram mentioned, but there is a separate uh, requirement which is going on for graduates 2021, and the eligibility criteria is throughout 60% of your education starting from 10th, 12th, and graduation. And especially we are looking for people from ID, computer science, electronics, MCA background. If you possess all these things, do apply. Go to our website. The link is there. Apply, and we'll come back to you.
Okay, that's great to know. And we'll move ahead with another question. And a person have an experience in administrating, automating, and clearing, the complex Docker containers. Is he eligible to apply on this position
Yes.
because he don't have any previous experience in cloud, or maybe
Yeah,
some experience? Yeah.
we have the containerization is one of the key aspects. We're looking for people with Docker skills.
Okay, that's great. And there is one more question which is coming from a person. He says that he has an experience of 10 plus years in Java application and Angular JS, but no cloud exposure. Is he eligible?
I think there's a different job fair for that skill. Sham, I think there are many other hirings going on for Java. You
Yeah,
would
yeah,
be
yeah,
better
yeah.
suited for that.
Absolutely. So, folks, if you have skills which is not cloud but which are technical skills, do visit our career site. I have put up the link also on the chat, and look for positions. So there are positions across actually. So you can go, you can apply, and you will be contacted basis on your eligibility and expertise.
Mhm. Okay, thank you. And there is another question coming from one of the person. He says that I'm a PL SQL developer and want to switch my career into the cloud. So is it any possibility for him, or he needs to learn and then he can apply?
Yeah, I would recommend that approach. Get yourself upskilled on any of the cloud skills. It's the right investment to do, and then apply. We'll be happy to interview at that time.
Okay, that's great to know. And one candidate have an experience into BMC remedy and snow ticketing tools. So do we have any positions on it?
Not in this
Monitoring, yeah.
program. Yeah, not in this program, but there might be others. Like in this one, it's not operations. It's primarily migration. So the Snow BMC experience would more be on the operations side. So not for this program, but yes, I'm sure we'll have other openings for such roles.
Mhm. We'll move to the next question. Um, a middleware admin, okay, and he has experience into Jenkins and Scrum certified. Is he eligible for a DevOps role?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. The key criteria here is if you remember, I mentioned infrastructure as code. So infrastructure and code are both important. It's difficult to code infrastructure if you do not understand WebLogic or WebSphere or whichever middleware technologies you have. So these are both equally important technologies uh, uh, that we're looking for. So it's the ideal scenario is if someone with an infra background who knows the Terraform and other technologies in Azure, that's like the perfect fit. But again, we're looking for people who have some experience in one and willing to learn the other one. We'll be happy to interview.
Neha, if I may ask a question. So, Ranit, we have got a question from the participant. I have experience as Azure architect as well as hands-on experience with Terraform for IAC along with past experience and also with Azure DevOps and on-prem DevOps. What role would fit me best so to be able to contribute the most? I'm a multi-Azure certified.
I would recommend solution architect role. That's the best fit. That's the best fit for you. You would be able to make a bigger difference in that role rather than the DevOps specialist.
Okay. We have another question. What are the Amdoc's policies with hiring candidates from more diverse backgrounds with different experiences and the said requirements?
So that is a question for Sham or Vikram. Sham, go ahead.
So look, we are an organization as an equal opportunity employer. So we have a specific track that we are looking to hire people from various diverse background. Vikram and team, they are leading that, and specifically on the gender diversity. Now, through that specific programs called Boundless, you can apply, and if you are again fit into that role, you will get a call immediately basis on the available positions. But the answer is yes, we are looking for people from diverse background.
Okay, that's great to know. One candidate has asked
Can
a
you
question.
fix the screen share? I think it went away.
Vikram, your
Oops.
screen is up, so if you can just take it,
Sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Good.
Okay, there
Sorry,
is
Neha, you
another.
can repeat. Yeah.
Okay, there is another question. A candidate is working here in banking services technologies. He has experience of Python, MS SQL, and data engineering ETL development. Is he suitable for this candidature, or he can apply to so
Uh,
many of the positions?
I would suggest the DB admin position because of the experience on the SQL side uh, to apply.
Hmm. Okay, thank you so much on this. And we have one more question coming from a candidate. Okay, he actually says that he has a PG diploma in big data analytics, and he's eligible for any of the positions, or he needs to work out on some positions and then he can apply maybe on his upskilling skills. Yeah.
So we have opening on big data, and as I said, for any positions that you're talking about, because this is specifically this is a cloud webinar we are hosting, but any technologies that you talk about, Amdocs does work there, right? So I would request all the participants, if you are looking for jobs on other technologies other than cloud, visit our career site. It is the most updated one. Find the location, Pune or Gurgaon, whichever is suitable for you, and apply for those available positions. So there are hundreds of positions, starting from Java to big data to admin to whatever you can think about. So go over, browse it, and apply to the role that you think you are the most suitable one.
Hmm. Thank you so much, Sham, on this.
Neha, can I ask a question of Ranit?
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, please.
So this says, what if you have experiences on Ansible, Terraform, AWS, also having certificate on AWS, but have interest in learning Azure? Any opportunities?
Yeah, we can. You should explore the sysadmin, the cloud admin role, where we can still see how we can use your Terraform skills while you upskill yourself onto Azure. With AWS, it's a little different, of course, like any other technology. But if you're willing to learning new cloud platforms, and you have the other skills that we need, we would suggest apply.
Okay. um, do we want to take more questions on this? I guess we have some constraints of timeline, or we should move ahead.
I can answer more questions if there are more.
Okay, fine. One candidate is asking from us that he has been working as a data engineer for last 2 years. And I develop ETL pipelines and fetch data from heterogeneous DB like Oracle, Postgres, and target DB like Teradata using SAS. Is he eligible on any openings for the current open positions we have with us?
Okay, so this is not like a one-to-one match, but I would still recommend the DB admin position. And the reason being, we're not just moving application, right? We're moving the application with its data. So your experience in ETL will actually help when it comes to the data migration strategy. So the DB admin role is the one I would recommend for you.
Okay, we are seeing, this is a next question. We are seeing majority of the industry is moving towards cloud, AWS, Azure, and GC. There are many exciting opportunities also in the market. So what is the future perception of cloud we look forward to?
Okay, that's a very loaded question.
Yeah.
uh, uh, I, still look, uh, most of the organizations will move towards less and less of self-owned data centers. Eventually, they would all be moving towards one or the other cloud. It's We as Amdocs are cloud agnostic, whichever is the customer's preference, we provide that solution. But any of the cloud technologies that you want to pick would be a great skill to have. Cloud has a great future. There's a lot of literature available on where the industry would be, but betting on cloud is a good bet to have in today's market. Most of the bigger telcos, and not just the telcos. I mean, I'm restricting myself to telco as that's what we are supporting. Are looking to leverage the advantages of cloud. So newer applications are going to be written with the cloud in mind, even if they're not written directly onto cloud. So cloud is the future, and welcome to the future.
Okay, so we have another question which is coming from an Azure architect.
Let's make this the
Okay,
last question if you don't mind. Yeah.
sure, we'll do that.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
he is already working with one of the organizations, have around 4 years to 7 years of experience working on cloud and mixed culture of it. So what is the best position he should apply to?
I would recommend solution architect. The architect role is where I see you have. From what I heard, you have the past experience,
Mhm.
and you can influence the design a lot better when you're in the architect seat as compared to any other positions. That's what I would recommend for it.
Okay. Fine. Thank you so much, Ranit, for answering the best questions and for enlightening us with all the cloud-related stuff which is required nowadays. So now I would like to invite Mr. Shamakant Mishra, who is heading the talent acquisition team for India and APAC region.
Thank you, Neha. And I think I'll just pick up the last note from Ranit. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the future. So, future is here. I think I'm really thrilled and excited to see so many participants today, and more importantly, the way we did exchange of the ideas through your questions, the way Ranit and the team were kind of trying to answer you. We truly see the level of interest for all of you to kind of look forward for a bigger opportunity with Amdocs in the space of cloud and of course in other space. So while I'm speaking, the QR code is in front of your screen. I think me and my team would encourage you to scan it, apply, and more importantly, also follow us in the social media. So before I complete, I think let me take this opportunity to thank first and foremost none other than Samit Banerjee. Samit is, as we all know, heading this wonderful domain which is into the cloud space and which is really marching towards the future. So thank you, Samit, for your interesting and very connected insight. And of course, Ranit is our dear panel member. I think the way Ranit brings thing to perspective, the way he articulates, it seems like crystal clear on everything. So thank you, Ranit. You have been hosting a couple of more seminars also, be it internal or external. Thank you so much for agreeing and hosting it, and more importantly, telling from your experience what cloud looks like, and more importantly about your career journey. To the entire panel member of this cloud migration project who are not here in front of us, but they've been working in the back end to make sure that we put up a great job fair in terms of attracting you, in terms of telling you what we are looking at in many words. And of course, my talent acquisition team, the entire activity is led by Vikram Joglekar, supported by Sandeep, Neha Dalal, Neha Burman, and Taruna. I think all of you guys you are rocking. The way you are putting up a professional job fair is amazing. Thank you so much. And of course, last but not the least, as I said again, we really have a wonderful audience today. I think you guys been very patiently hearing us more than hearing. You are putting up so much of queries and questions. Of course, we may not have been able to take all the questions right now because of the time constraint, but I assure, I promise you, my team will get back to you whatever question you have put across on the chat. So before I end, now that you want to be part of this cloud, I think get geared up to juggle the lightning and taste the thunder. You can never get any better opportunity than Amdocs in the cloud space. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that note, wish you all the best. We look forward to see you, meet you, talk to you, and more than just interview, we want to, you know, initiate a dialogue with you to understand your perspective. So, thank you so much. Stay safe, be at home, and we will come back to you with another exciting event very soon. Thank you, team.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you very
Thank you, Amit.
much.
Thank you,
Looking
Ranit.
forward to
Thank you.
many people joining us. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
yes.
you so much, everyone. I hope you found today's event to your liking, and I hope you are better informed about the various open roles with the SmartOps Cloud. Kindly scan the QR code to review the current openings that we have. Do apply if any of the openings interest you. Just in case you are unable to do so right now, we will be emailing you the link and the QR code. Also, if you have any concerns, queries, do write to us on talent@amdocs.com and we shall get back to you. Thank you so much, everyone. Once again, we wish you a very productive and fulfilling year ahead. Stay healthy and stay safe. Thank you.